4 deputies resigned in lieu of being fired and another 4 suspended without pay. Now, this all comes after the death of this woman, Essie Ward.
She died behind bars at the Polk County Jail. Her family waited months for answers about her death, too. And the 10 Investigates exclusive. Reporter Jennifer Titus is live outside the Polk County Jail, where, Jen, you also had some trouble getting a hold of what happened here.
Yeah, it's not easy, Frank, to find out what happens behind bars. Now, every time an inmate dies, for the most part, local media is notified. It'll be a few sentences long saying who the inmate was, what they were in for. And for the most part, it'll also say that no foul play is expected pending an investigation. Well, it's up to us as journalists to come back months later and request that final investigative report. And when we got that report for Essie Ward, we had questions. It took even longer for us to get the final administration investigation. That's when we learned that multiple deputies resigned or were suspended in the wake of Essie Ward's death. Here's why. Walking through Lincoln Park Cemetery,
Uncle Calvin,
yeah.
Grandma Virginia.
Yep.
the Mills siblings never thought
Grandma Virginia. I be making sure I see them too, boy.
the day would come when they'd be visiting
I love you, Mom.
their own mother here.
We love you, always and forever.
I had a visitation with her, and I know my mom. And she was talking to me, and I seen that she was proud of me. I never knew that seeing her on that visit was my last time seeing her then.
Essie Ward struggled with her mental health.
She battled from schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. She has been arrested before, and the times that she was arrested before, she was suffering mental health issues.
Late last year, she hit another crisis.
What put my mom back behind bars was she had another mental health episode.
Arrested on November 30th, 2024, and charged with armed burglary, grand theft, possession, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
She was not getting the medicine at all.
Behind bars, she only got worse.
I used to try to comfort my mom and just let her know, I'm going to make sure that I get you the help that you need.
Court documents show her public defender believed she was not competent to stand trial. The competency results were set to be heard on April 25th.
She had already been in there like 3-4 months.
But instead, Essie's children would get a phone call 3 weeks before that court date that would change their lives forever.
I didn't hear the words at first. It didn't register until I heard her crying, because she was crying. I was like, what you crying for? And I heard it, but I didn't hear it. I was like, I'm not hearing what I'm hearing.
It would take several months for Essie's children to learn more about what happened that day. We obtained the death investigation report more than 5 months later from the Polk County Sheriff's Office that said deputies found Essie unresponsive in her cell around 9:30 in the morning, April 3rd. She was being housed alone. Deputies responded and performed life-saving measures for 23 minutes before giving up resuscitating her. But the medical examiner noted her body was already in the early stages of decomposition and was dead 18 to 24 hours before that. The family wanting to know how someone was left unnoticed for so long. So did we. We requested the final internal affairs report regarding Essie Ward's death. After a back and forth where we were once quoted over $1,000, it arrived in our inbox in November. That's when we learned 4 deputies would have been terminated, but they resigned before the investigation was complete. 3 supervisors were also suspended for 120 hours without pay. The report reveals that on March 31st, days before Essie died, she was the subject of a protective action. A deputy said Ward was throwing foam cups, yelling, and walking toward her. The deputy pepper sprayed her and then used a low-voltage shock glove on her right forearm. The report stated Essie declined to shower, and a nurse noted red, watery, burning eyes and skin. Would your mom have been, and when she's in a regular state of mind, would she have ever tried to attack a deputy?
She don't attack nobody anyway. If anything, my mom would say is don't put your hands on her. But that's just how she was, like don't touch her at times. But she wasn't a violent person.
The next day, records say she ate lunch and dinner. She stood for a head count at 6 p.m. That was the last time anyone saw her standing. Inmate activity logs required every 15 minutes because Essie Ward was housed in the mental health medical housing unit showed deputies claimed to see movement, but Some admitted they couldn't see her face, she never ate her food, and they did not confirm whether her chest was rising and falling.
I did see when I did around, she did not touch her dinner tray.
Did you make any contact with her?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No, I did not.
All right. Did you notice at that time when those rounds, where was she, still in bed or?
When I saw her, yes, sir, she was still in bed.
It's hard, it's tough, it's heartbreaking. My mom didn't receive the proper care. You know, it's all there for her to be deceased 24 hours in her cell. She never got the 15-minute round check. If my mom received those 15-minute round checks, she could possibly still be here today.
She wasn't eating for a couple of days, and I knocked on her door, and I told them, and they saw me knocking on her door. They said, "Don't wake her up."
When you see that there's a lack of meal intake from that specific detainee, it's going to give you it should give you the nudge to check into that.
Former Corrections Deputy Pete Bloodworth says that's not optional.
It appeared as though the individual was underneath a blanket and they were not able to see the rising and lowering of the chest. That would be an indicator that you would have to do something to try to engage in some type of activity with the inmate.
He says accountability rests on those performing the rounds.
When they did the head count, did they check for the chest to rise and lower? Did they interact with the individual to ensure their well-being? When they were making the security checks, were they communicating with each other? Unfortunately, in this situation, there was a catastrophic event that took place.
In the prisons where he worked, you had to actually see an inmate stand as part of the head count.
Now, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, they use 3 counts that have to stand.
We put in multiple requests to speak with Sheriff Grady Judd about what happened to Essie.
Continue to watch over us, Mom.
And while the Mills siblings know some deputies were disciplined, they want more than that.
It's just sad and it's heartbreaking that I had to hear that my mom went through what she went through, and it was no care, no concern in it nowhere because of where she was at.
I look at it as everybody got a mother. What was your mother? And to watch people act like, because it's not their mother, they not fighting. It's like a brush under the rug. That hurt. Because I got a heart. If it was somebody else's mother, I feel like I would feel their pain.
And back out here live now, the medical examiner did rule her death as heart disease. We did again request an interview with Sheriff Grady Judd. That was denied, but they did send us a statement earlier this morning. I want to read some of it. It says in part, regardless of their failure to follow proper procedures, they did not contribute to Miss Ward's death, which was a natural death caused by many years of drug and substance abuse and an unhealthy lifestyle. It also goes on to say, we have added another layer of systematically checking inmates. Each inmate in jail is now being physically checked and armband scanned by the outgoing and incoming detention deputy shift members together to ensure each inmate is awake and communicating at least twice daily. Now, the family tells us that Essie did have some medical issues, but never any heart issues. For now, we're live in Polk County tonight. Jennifer Titus, 10 Investigates.